Let's talk. I'm serious. Let's talk. This is a sad incident that should have never happened in the first place at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Man, I was like, I woke up to Kwame Brown having two live streams on at one time. Yeah, so besides that, yesterday I was pretty much not doing anything as far as YouTube on my channel. I was pretty much chilled. But everybody's drinking the Monday night quarterback, which since it was Monday night football, it's the Tuesday night quarterback syndrome on what should have been done, what shouldn't have been done. But there's a major lesson. It's tragic news because it didn't matter that he's a rapper. It don't matter that, like this is a human being. It's tragic, period. Thanks, Green Mount. As you see, the homeboy shut up. He ain't said had nothing to say back. Now, let's look at the scenarios of what's surrounding this situation. A girlfriend tweeted out where they were at, added the location while they were there. She could have filmed that and post that later. You don't post that when you're with a rap artist or somebody of stature. And, the fact that he traveled alone. So it's LA, it's different. You can't really travel alone unless you know how to travel alone. And it sounded like they wouldn't have had any problems had she not put out that post showing his location. So whether he had beef with somebody or not, I don't know if they had a beef or whatever. It didn't seem like that. It seemed like a straight robbery. When you flash your jewelry, when you post or wear flashy jewelry out in places like this, even though this is supposed to be a high-end spot at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, you still putting yourself at risk. And what young people need to learn from all of this is the one thing that everybody needs to learn, not just him, her, or them, all of y'all need to learn, is the fact that you don't post where you are on social media. I don't do it. I show you where I've been, not where I'm at. And if I show you where I'm at, you can come up there, but it might not be wise for you to come up there because it ain't going to go the way you think. Now, a lot of people see videos of me after the fact. After this has happened, after this, or most of the videos you watch from me have been pre-recorded sometimes. Not my live streams, of course, but even in my live streams, you don't know exactly where I'm at. Now, a lot of you have Facebook, and Facebook has this thing that tracks you. You have to learn when you travel out of town, you're going to have to turn that off. Because that's the most dangerous feature that they ever had in social media history. It pings your friends. Whenever you're nearby, it just starts ping and lets them know how close you are. I was on an airplane. I hadn't even made it off the airplane. I had just landed at the airport and I'm getting a phone call from somebody. Yo, you in town? And I'm like, I wasn't really ready to tell people I'm in town yet, but I'm like, yeah, for a little bit. Wow, what's up? You know, because I wasn't really ready to tell nobody that. You know, like I'm in town. Yeah, I'm not even settled in. I'm still on the plane. So I'm like, how you know I'm in town? And he was like, oh, it's on the your Facebook. And I was like, oh, bet. I'm gonna have to turn that off. Because if he know, let everybody else know. I don't stay at hotels that don't have security downstairs. Meaning you can't just walk up to my room. I don't do that. You can't get past, there's security to the rooms. You ain't allowed to just let anybody walk up to the rooms. Hell no. That's not allowed. I don't stay in those hotels. Now, the thing about this that you have to understand is everybody today is drinking the Kool-Aid, man. Every time you turn around, somebody got something crazy to say about the entire incident, right? But she wanted to post, the girlfriend wanted to post this and show off her chicken and waffles. And she made this post. And now it's deleted, but it's too late now. Well, she's going to have, it's a lot of fans out there. And now, you know, the situation looks real bad.
With his girlfriend, he had millions of fans on social media.
Because if you're a rapper, you know not to post your location. Post it when you leave.
His fans pointing out P&D's girlfriend added this photo to her Instagram story minutes before the robbery.
She posted something on her story and put the location, Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. You usually tap that and it lets you know exactly where it's at.
The story has since been deleted, but it may have been an upload with the gravest of consequences.
She probably feel like, dang, I posted location, this all happened. So of course she's finna get questions asked as well, like why did you post this and that. It's just something she's gonna have to live on.
Yeah, and I feel bad for her because, you know, her whole life is ruined. By one post, it ruined her entire life, ended another person's life, a person she loved. Their life is ended by this. Feel me? Yeah, she put the ping on there, link in the restaurant. So now the investigation is going into, was it a setup? And this, I've seen an incident like this happen, similar to where the girlfriend was blamed and I basically had to save her life because the guy she was dating, you know, was basically he was never the tough gangbanging dude. That he joined the gang because he got tired of getting picked on by the gangs. and bullied. So he joined the gang so that all that stuff would stop. So many years later, he ended up dating a girl, and him and the guys are hanging out. He with them, and they break up. What couples do, young. She breaks up with him. He's not able to take that. So he, of course, pulls the I'm going to take myself out if you don't come over here and talk to me. So he comes over and talks, and then he pulls out a pistol. And he's talking to her. If you leave me, I have nothing. And he puts it to his head and he pulls the trigger. He wanted her to see that. But he was still alive after he did this. She tried to save his life. She called 911 in a panic. She's doing all the things to tell them what to do until paramedics get there. She's totally traumatized by what's going on. He ended up passing away at the hospital. And after he passed away at the hospital, her life changed. People started to blame her. His friends was like, nah, my homeboy wouldn't have did that. She shot him. So that's flipped. And without evidence or anything, they already mad. The homeboy gone. Now it's she did it. And everybody keep talking about it. And she living like right across the street from where some of these dudes are. They all meeting on the block trying to discuss what they're going to do to her. And I'm telling them, nah, dog. I'm just like, you did that. You ain't gonna do the thing she did. I was like, I saw that girl. She ain't had nothing to do with that, man. Don't. I wouldn't pull that. I wouldn't hit that button. Not at all. She ain't had nothing to do with that. She too messed up in the head right now. She can't even function. She can't go outside. She's terrified, period, but she's messed up mentally over this whole thing, bro. She ain't do that. And I was keeping them from pressing the button because I was giving them that doubt, and they were thinking like, yeah, that is right, man. I don't think that would have went like that. So I'm like, no, it wouldn't. You know that. Oh, wow. Ain't that a big? That's crazy. So the scenarios changed over and over again because her parents still didn't feel safe. So they moved her out in like the middle of the night. It was like 1, 2 in the morning. We moving them out, packing them up. They had her stuff in like black garbage bags, clothes. They ain't really had suitcases. And they was just loading up the car. And I came over there, helped them move her out. And she went to go stay with her auntie. She had to get up out the neighborhood. Because you never know. It's a lot of minds to try to convince. So while all this was going on, just let her go chill. So they was like, man, she don't come outside no more. They didn't even know she was gone, dude. They had no idea she was gone. I don't know where she went. But what I did know was that she was not going to be near me. Or I just helped them put the bags in the car, let her go. But that girl didn't have nothing to do with that. Just like this girl. She ain't set him up. I don't believe it. Now, I don't really know them like that. But that's too much exposure for her. If you're going to set somebody up, you ain't going to set them up like that. Trust me. You just won't. Because if you did that, then it makes no sense. Because you're already in position. He's with you. It ain't like you a side piece. This is a girl that's with him. So she just made a mistake because she's, doing what young people do on social media. You know, the responsibility of this falls on one person, and that one person is the guy who actually did the crime. So don't take it off of who actually did it. That's the person that's guilty. The person that actually decided to take that young man's life. He's the problem. We can't give allowances. But young people are obsessed with that stuff. They said he took her IG away before for doing that, but this is what I'm saying. When you're dating young people and they're used to this is what they go back to. They're always resorting to posting something. And this is why. Some girl gave away my location and someone thought it'd be a good idea to try to steal my car. And I knew that would happen. I rode with somebody else for them to be basically their protection. He was like, ride with me. I want to go see this chick. So I ride with him. I was like, all right, but I don't want to trust my car out here. I know who I'm around. You know what I'm saying? So I know the people I'm around. So I'm like, bet. I know the shystiness. I know who with me and who ain't with me. So soon enough, true to the letter, true to form, I said, okay, I'll ride with you, but they don't know where I'm going. They don't know where I'm at. They just see my car, so I can come back at any time. And the trip to go see them from where we are is about a 20-30 minute ride just to get there. So we get all the way out there. My phone ends up dying because I don't have my charger. His phone is all messed up. So she's trying to call me to see how far am I coming out there. Then I find out when we get there, the girl actually called one of the people at the place that I don't trust. And I'm like, did you call them? I'm like, why would you call them and tell them where I'm going? I'm like, did you tell them that I was out here? If something happens to my car, you will be held responsible. So, sure enough, we come back. There's a hole in my window. My radio gone. They then took I had my PlayStation 2 at the time, my PS2. My PS2 games were gone. Everything. She was like, I can't believe this happened. I was like, this is why I told you, you're a suburbanite. I'm from the city. I know how things move out here. Now I gotta go Rambo because I know exactly who did it, the crew that was here that would have did it. And now I got to show them why I'm from the city and they're from the burbs. They can pull this over on other burbs people, but you ain't gonna pull it off for nobody from the south side. Stuff will get you killed. And I said, all right, y'all better go. I'll deal with y'all later. But now this has to get my attention. I go upstairs to the crib. Everybody like knocked out, high and whatever. I'm like, dog, where is such and such and such and such? My car just got broken in. My radio gone and my games. He was like, somebody did that to you? I said, yep, they did it to me. I know who did it to me. I'm like, where they got? They left already? All right, bet. I'll be back here. He was like, I ain't had nothing to do with that, right? I'm like, yeah, I know you, cool. They ain't gonna let you in on it. So I was like, I already know. I just came up here to check to see what they still up here. Now I know what I got to do. These idiots forget I know where they live. Each and every one of them. I know where they live. I know this person ain't gonna take it back to his house because he's too smart for that. The flunky who follows him is softer than baby poop, they gonna use his house. I went immediately to his house. This idiot didn't even know I knew where he lived, but I know he's soft. So they gonna manipulate him to do everything. So he would have the murder weapon if they did it. Everything would be at his house. I come right to his door. I go through the front door. I ring the bell to get buzzed in. Right? The brother comes out. The little brother comes out. And I go, oh, hey, what's up, man? I just push my way through the door. And he was like, I'm like, oh, yeah, where your brother, man? Yeah, I got to go see your brother, man. And I pushed my way through the house. So push the door open, come in. He's like, oh, yeah, he in his room. His little brother don't know better. I'm like, oh, all right, no problem. Then he comes out his room and sees me. Like, oh, my God. I'm like, oh, yeah. You know what time it is, don't you? He backs into his room. On the bed is my radio, my PlayStation 2 games, everything that they took. My bag, all of it is laying on the bed. The dude who masterminded is on the floor, sleep. He's still asleep. Through all of this, he's asleep. His boy's trying to explain, like, please, my mom's in the next room. Please, don't wake my mom. The soft dude. So I see his homeboy sleeping. I'm like, he's having his last good dream. I got like this pole, this metal thing that was in there that was attached to that thing that's called the jack, where you would jack and lock your steering wheel. I had one of a piece like that was attached to it. And I just stood over him. I'm like, look at him having his last peaceful dream. Whop! Busted him inside his head with that thing. He woke up then. And as soon as he saw me standing over him, buddy, did those stories start coming. It was like the word. See, it really wasn't us. It was this other guy. They blamed a little skinny white guy. He was the mastermind and said, it was all this plot. And I'm like, it was all a plot to rob me. They all got together and decided they were going to bust my window out. So, of course, the police see the hole in the window downstairs. They thinking, something went on here. So it's right next door to the Illinois Sheriff, the Illinois State Police Department headquarters is right next door from where this idiot lives. The whole state of Illinois, the state police headquarters is right next door. I showed y'all this before. That's where they filmed the movie The Breakfast Club. That place used to be a high school. And they transformed that to a police department. Yeah, that's a fun movie fact. So The Breakfast Club was filmed there. The popular movie we all love. So, once they come over, after they laying on the floor, I said, the police come upstairs, knock on the doors. They hear all the yelling. The mom gets up. I already got the stuff downstairs. I got all my stuff back in the bag. And I said, when I see you outside, like, it's on. They was like, man, we got you money. We're going to pay you money, man. We're going to pay you money. They was going to pay me money not to F them up every month. I'm getting money from them. So I'm like, all right, bet. Y'all going to pay me not to whoop y'all ass. I like it. You're going to keep running me my bread. So I go downstairs with all my stuff in the bag, my radio, everything. And I'm like, y'all bust my window. And got glass in my car. And just for doing this and wasting my time, something's going to have to be done about this. So once that came, the police saw me downstairs. They come up there, and then they were knocking on the door to go ask if somebody get their car broken into. So now they questioning me, and then they're in the window, and they see everything, and they was like, hey, we're coming up. So they come up there, and then they want to know what's all going on. So now all of a sudden, They's like, okay, we got your side of the story. I'm like, I got my stuff back now. It's in the trunk. I'm like, I'm good. Just run me my money. Anybody got to go to jail? He's like, you ain't gonna sit in the jail? Nah, I'm not gonna send you to jail. I could have sent them right to jail, right there. But the guy who was the ringleader decided, because he got that knot on his head, he want to get tough now. How he just gonna come up in here? That's breaking an entry. He did a crime coming up in here. How you get in here? Don't worry about that. But what you need to be worried about is my money. So I said, and the guy's like, well, you're not gonna press charges? Nah. As long as they pay me my money, we won't have any problems. They all agreed that they was gonna pay me my money. Now, that was the agreement. Now, here's the thing. A week later, he decides when it was time to pay the money, I'm at work. I get a voicemail from one of the guys. And he tells me, the coward one, who I went and got all my stuff from out of his house, got all my stuff back. The coward has the gall to call my phone and said, you know what? I think that, you know what I'm saying? If you was gonna go to the cops and get us arrested, you know you couldn't do that anyway. You know what, man? I ain't paying you nothing. And all this and shoot. I see you, man. You know, we'll just fight it out. We can handle this on. I said, you want to fight me now? I called him on his voicemail and I said, I don't know. I know there was people around in the background you was trying to impress, but they ain't gonna be there when I come and see you. You are lucky I'm at work. I want to get out of here right now. But don't worry. I'm gonna have all this built up because when this bell rings and it's time for me to get off work, I'm coming to see you again. And you gonna be calling the police. Y'all finna call the police for real. And I might be going to jail because I ain't gonna stop beating the living hell out you. I'm on my way. And I came over there, I rung his bell. He would not come downstairs at all. He was scared to death. He knew I was coming. He had all this time to get prepared. Could have had his homeboys there, everything. He did not. So I was like, I'm gonna catch this punk later. Catch him when he ain't expecting. I'm gonna catch him on my day off. Spend my whole day till I get my hands on him. So I leave. As soon as I get home, he called. Hey man. Calling me unrestricted. I'm like, why would you call me unrestricted when I know who you are and I got your number, chump? Why would you do that? Man, I'm just saying, why all the beef? I'm like, oh, everybody gone home? Now it's just you by yourself? Now the real you coming out, the punk? Okay. Yeah, you forget I already know you. But now you have to pay. I'm gonna get you the money, man. Man, I was drunk, man. I was just talking, man. I was just realizing, man. You know, man, you a nice dude, man. And man, I know you can get crazy, man. I ain't seen it, man. I ain't know you was gonna get this crazy. I'm like, I ain't did nothing yet. But I'm going to. Because now you have to pay for trying. You're not gonna learn until someone teaches you something. And I can't wait to teach you something. So from that day on, they was running. And I said, you know what? I ain't gonna get them. I'm gonna just let them keep twisting in the wind till they pay me my money. But now, this is gonna be more torture for them because now I know they scared. Now I know they scared. And now the fear is more mental psych. They don't know if I'm gonna be in the bushes. They don't know if I'm pulling up at a party. They don't know because I'm like, I'm gonna be everywhere you at. If you don't have my money when I see you, scared to death. They wouldn't come outside no more. I had them boys so shook, they was scared to go anywhere. They was like, we just gonna kick it at your house. That party over there, nah, F that. He gonna be there. We gonna be here kicking it. They was scared. Scared of little old me. Terrified. They didn't want that smoke at all. Then one day they slipped up. And boy, oh boy, when they slipped up and I came there, because it was an incident that went down. And that's why they got picked up to be backup. Somebody had picked them up and brought them over there because it was going to be an incident. They all getting together, talking about what they finna do, go back over there and fight. So everybody else was there. I wish Juan was up in here. Because Juan could tell you, Juan be on his lives. Juan could tell you because he was there that night. And Juan was just talking, they was talking about, Juan had no knowledge of anything that went on with us. He just know, like, they there, we talking about what's finna go down and this and that. And then once I walk through the door and I see them two, I go, oh, thank you, God. It's finna go down. So now the other guy's like, he told the guy, yo, man, let me get that bat. Let me get that bat. And I was like, I got a pistol. I'm like, you got the bat. You feel good with it? Do you feel good? You feel good about your chances? Because you're getting one swing. That's it. I'm like, he gave you that bat. Oh, let me get that bat. I'm like, oh, you feel good about yourself because you got a bat? You think that bat is going to save you from me? The only reason you are right now breathing is the fact that you're going to pay me my money. And if it wasn't for your uncles, because their uncles were some very serious people at one time. So I went and spoke to the uncles. I'm like, I'm gonna have to talk to your uncles. So I spoke to his uncles. Now, the thing was, the uncles didn't mind as long as I didn't take their life. The uncles was like, yeah, he's a knucklehead. He do knucklehead stuff. Well, mind you, teaching him a lesson, kicking his ass and all that, just still, don't take his life. Not that we care if you take his life. It's just that I don't want to hear my sister's mouth and this and that. I don't need those problems. I don't want to go to a funeral. So they really didn't give a damn. It's just that it's an inconvenience for them. But whooping his ass and all that, oh yeah, teach him a lesson. So I had the green light. Now his cousins is the one that hung out with me. So was his cousin in on it? I had to put them to the test. I said, well, let me see how involved his cousin is in this situation. The one that hangs out with me. Because he didn't even know, because I don't tell him nothing. I tell him what he needs to know on anything. So I said, well, let me see what the cousin knows. So I found out that the cousin didn't know what happened. But when he did find out, I knew exactly what type of person he was. That's why I put a spy on him. Mainly the girl that they used to like sleep with and mess with and toss up. Like one of them liked me, like would jump on a grenade for me if I said so. But I had her hang out over there with her girlfriends. and see what they learn. And she learned what I suspected. She was like, you was right. Don't trust him because he two-faced. He's like, remember how he told you he was staying out of it and all that, but he with them like, yeah, because you my family, man. If he do something, man, I'm going to be right there with y'all. I was like, I know. He talking tough with them. But then with me, man, my cousin's stupid. And yeah, he playing both sides of the fence. And I was like, he going to learn just like the rest of them. So that night, both of them are sitting there and I got them sitting side by side on the couch. Now I have the bat in my hand. And they both sitting on the couch trying to explain, man, I ain't going to do nothing, man. If I don't get my money, you both are gone. Do you realize that? Both of you and him. And my other boy wanted me to bash their head in. I'm like, dog, I didn't bash their head in because I was in your crib. I didn't want to get blood all over your stuff. I was like, had we been in his crib, I was like, cool. But you ain't had nothing to do with this. And I just happened to catch them here. But I was like, dog, because dude was like, man, I thought you was just woofing, man. He's like, oh, man, I thought you was going to bust their head. Why you ain't do it? I was like, dog, I wasn't even trying to get blood all over that. Man, I don't give a F about that. I'm like, I wish I'd have known. Because I'd have split dude head right over. I was like, man, I'm going to have to get this dude outside of your crib. I ain't want to mess your spot up. I'm like, you got too much going on up in here. And when I mean mess his house up, I mean bringing cops and stuff into his house. Not just the blood everywhere. Because it would have been blood everywhere. But the cops show up there. Let's just say there's a lot of stuff in that house he don't want. No police there, you know? So he didn't give a damn. My boy crazy as hell. He love to see that kind of stuff. Like, dude, do it. Bust his head open. He's like, man, I would have came over. I don't really like that one dude anyway. I just came in just to be down. Like, you ain't really my boy. And start stomping him out. He just, dude, he's a live one. So he's loved this nonsense. And he was just glad to see me there. Like, yeah. Heard the legends. Now I get to see this live. And then when I didn't do it, he was just like, man, dog, why you even do that? Car stereo, no, Marquise Gibson, it's not because of the PlayStation 2, some CDs or some PlayStation video games and the fact that they busted my window. It wasn't because of that. It was the fact that they did it to me. You don't do that to me. That don't happen. You better go get the next car, buddy. It could have been a stick of chewing gum. You don't touch nothing that's mine. Right. You have the audacity or the disrespect to do that to me? Me and you are going to have a very nice come to Jesus conversation. It's not about the items. It's about the principle. The disrespect factor. So order has to be restored. Because remember, they ain't call me Carcino. My nickname was this. See that big M? My name was Magnificent. For a reason. I was absolutely magnificent. In every single way. Oh yeah, I didn't play no games. So it came down to it where the cousin paid for it. Their cousin saved their lives. And they might not even know it, but we were coming to an impasse where something's finna go down. Because they can't keep running in holes. Their uncle wasn't finna protect them over some dumb stuff like this. And he's like, dog, just take your ass whooping or pay this man his money. But they didn't have any money. That's when the guy like, man, we ain't got no money. He was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Don't go breaking in people's cars. Doing these nickel and dimes the crap. Don't go doing it. Y'all look stupid. Now look what you got now. You did it to the wrong human being. Listen. So their cousin had to pay for them. He hit me off with the money, like, here. Like, it's just over. Don't bother no more. It's over, man. Here the money. They ain't never gonna cross you again. I guarantee you that. And I'm like, all right. But if they do, there's no amount of money. No amount of money. It's gonna get them out of this. But he didn't know. He was done with me. The cousin. You're done too. Now that I got the money, you're done here. The time of me being cool with you, now you at arm's distance. You never crossed me though. Yeah, but I know you two-faced. So now, I gotta keep you at arm's distance. I never really told you anything anyway, because I sideways didn't trust you. My instincts was right not to trust him. I'm sorry, MG, man. You might be new here. This video, that's in one of my hood stories already. You basically got two hood stories in one. Have you ever seen the playlist Carcino Hood Stories? Yeah, that actually happened to Carcino. Both stories. They all real. Of course you would say it's fake. What else would you say? Because you could never do anything like that. So it's understandable. I got some sleep for the first time in a long time. Now the community leaders are outside of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Where were they at before everything was kicking off? Now that the community leaders then showed up, it's always after something had happened, the community leaders show up. And who made them the community leaders? A speech after a tragedy is no good. Everybody Monday morning quarterbacks. Well, now they Tuesday morning quarterbacks. But, it's like, what's the speech at the end of it finna do? The time to do it was the prevention of it. Roscoe should have had better security. Where was the security? Each man is responsible for his own life. That's why I'm like, when I was young, I used to do that stupid stuff. I used to take pictures with money because when you're young and you don't have any money, when you finally get some money, there wasn't no money at all. I had like $1,000. You'd have thought I won the lotto. Because back then in the 90s with $1,000, shoot, what couldn't I do? I could fill up my tank with $20. Literally, most of y'all don't understand what that is. But in the 90s, gas was like 102, 98 cents for regular. So $1,000 to me was like $10,000 at that time. Nah, $20 got me a full tank. That's what I'm saying. Somebody gave you $5 back then on gas. I was a friend. I was a friend back then. Like, look, man, I'll give you $5 for some gas. Somebody give you $5 for gas. Now, where they going? It's $5 just to get to grab the handle and pull it off the damn to pull the handle off. Gas was 97 cents, 102, and like 112 for the premium. So me having $1,000, that was like everything, and I'm flashing it. Boom, 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 boom. It was the perfect fitting for me. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So that was like huge for me because that was lasting me a lot. I tricked off every dollar I had. I didn't save any of it. But I was doing stuff like that with my camera. I'm taking pictures with the money. So I did what these young kids doing now. But now they have even more of it. And now it's social media around. This wasn't posted for the world to see. I was taking pictures with my camera, and only people that saw it was people I knew. People I didn't know didn't see these at all. So these pictures didn't go out to everybody. Now, because of social media, this stuff goes to a whole bunch of people you don't even know. Then what happens after that? After it goes out to people you don't know. Well, Pat Stay got into an argument at a bar. That's a whole different. He was out at a wedding. He's an underground rapper. He was never somebody that was like on this stature of PNB Rock. I really don't listen to his music. It's more of my cousins and them. Like they listen to that. That's younger generation with the holes in their pants and all that. That's them. That's their thing. I never got into that. Hit the like button if you understand what I'm talking about. That's free. Thanks for everybody who cashed at me. $ Carcino. I know I put that up on my YouTube Shorts video. What happened at the Raiders game with the Chargers? Oh my God, that was the most hilarious thing I've seen. Yeah, I spoke on the purge law when I told y'all the purge was coming, and everybody thought they was laughing. I'm like, dog, we gonna be living in a purge one day. It's getting close. They show you in these movies. Everybody ignored it, and then the Illinois law hit, and January 1st, 2023, it's gonna be Armageddon out here in Chicago and anywhere in Illinois, basically. So we gonna see what's gonna happen then. I ain't going nowhere. I got enough rounds to put a lot of clowns down, and they gonna understand something. See, no, don't play either. I don't cause no trouble, but I will defend myself. Got my vest. I'm ready. Vital protection. But I talked about it on One Crack News. UK have a knife problem. I know that y'all have a knife problem. Y'all, they don't really shoot in the UK like people think. They like to poke. They do. The gangs, they have those nightsticks that extend out like the police got and will lay you out with them things. Take your kneecaps out. They have a whole bunch of those and be laying you out with it. They like to physically beat people in the UK. My God. Man, they got machetes over there. They got short knives. They got chains. They take it back to the old school where you gonna take a beating and it, getting poked up. Man, that's what they do. Yeah. But let's listen to the community leaders and see what they got to say about all this.
This morning and print something intentionally to let the community know we are not going to be intimidated and scared to come eat and patronize our restaurants in our community. I also had a chance to speak to Councilman Marquise Harris Johnson's office. This restaurant where PNB was murdered at resides in the council district. We called for the council member to introduce a reward immediately. The council member said yes. He's in the process of doing the paperwork now to ensure a reward is offered, because certainly this is one of the most heinous crimes South LA has ever witnessed. Anytime someone is having lunch with his family and has been murdered in broad daylight, because of his children, we should all be concerned about. We should all be alarmed about. Because we can't act like murders in South LA aren't important to our community. We can't have murders and our community be indifferent towards them. And that's why I'm grateful to be with my colleagues who are here, whoever had to say something. So with that, I'm going to step aside and bring up LaWanda Hawkins, who's the founder, president of Justice for Murdered Children, a longtime activist.
Thank you, Najee. It breaks my heart to be here today, to even be out here talking about another rapper gunned down in our community over some jewelry. And what even makes it worse in this situation for me is they sit in one of my favorite restaurants, but this is a family restaurant. But we have kids and stuff like that. And this type of behavior don't happen down here like that. Not in the restaurant. But for them to bring it down there, what a form of disrespect. Yeah. And if you would do it to them in front of this so-called girl and his baby, it don't mean nothing. That jewelry you took from him, that don't mean nothing. His life, what the hell? My heart and prayers go out to his family. And I mean it. Because to have a loved one murdered is nothing like it. It's the worst nightmare. But we have to do something about this. We can't continue to go on like it's normal down here. We got to do something. And I think major action has to take place. We as a community have to say enough is enough. We got to demand that. We want cameras up here on both ends, on Main Street and on Broadway on Manchester. And we want those cameras working. And we want them up like ASAP. Because see, these cameras can tell us who these people are coming in our community pulling these triggers every damn day and night. Because we're having a problem over in this area with gun violence and people being murdered. He wasn't the first person that we had murdered yet this month in this area. So it is a problem in this area. And we have to do something in this area. And we got to demand that things are done. But the killing over his necklace, and they said some type of watch or bracelet they took, come on, y'all. We got to demand that those who did it turn themselves in. You can't buy it from them. You can't sell it on the street. You can't find it. It's hot. Everybody know what it is. So what you gonna do? You can't walk around with it. Yeah, you can't do that. And to do it at our restaurant, our family restaurant, no. And I'm so glad that Roscoe continued to open up again today. They didn't shut down. And they didn't allow them to do this to them. Do you know how hard it is in our community and black communities with the pandemic hitting us? Then you bring this type of crap into one of our places? Do you know that impact on us? We can't allow it. I thank God they opened up. But again, my heart goes out to the family. My heart goes out to the family and the community who's been victimized by this. But I'm telling you, as a community, you all got to stand up and say what you know. You got to tell. If you know something, say something immediately.
Next we'll have Skip Townsend, longtime South LA activist, gang intervention activist, and one of the premier peace ambassadors in the city.
My name is Skip Townsend, S-K-I-P-P, T-O-W-N-S-E-N-D. I'm here just to say that even though this is a heartbreak in the community, it's not gang violence. Whenever there's violence in the community, the first thing that people say is gang-related or gang violence. This is something of opportunity. This is an opportunity for someone who glorifies the jewelry and the watch and all that. Let's get to the root causes though. The root causes is the industry. The music industry promotes the jewelry. The music industry promotes the bling bling. It's been going on for years, and now individuals in the community would rather have the jewelry than to have someone alive to be with their daughter, to be with their family. So I want to put this on the music industry to change the direction that they're going in. How many rappers have been killed since 2020? And this is one too many right here in South LA. We just can't stand for it no more. So I want to challenge the music industry to stop allowing individuals to put the rewards on having the jewelry and the watches, because the life is way more important. Once again, this is not gang violence in South LA. This was an act of opportunity. And opportunists took someone's life because they value the jewelry more than the individual.
Thank you, Skip. Next we have one of the leading South LA religious leaders in our community, who's been a voice for peace, a voice for unity, a voice for justice, and has brought spiritual healing to our community when we need it the most. Pastor Anthony Shep Crawford.
Thank you. My name is Pastor Shep Crawford. I pastor a church called the Experience Christian Ministries here in South Central LA. I also serve as the president and chairman of a group called United We Stand Up, which is a coalition of OGs coming together from different tribes to create peace in the neighborhood. And what I want to say is I agree with all my colleagues of all the things that we need to do to try to intervene and to prevent this. But what I want to do, and I want to take this time out to actually charge the media as well, because a lot of times when we have tragic events like this, it's easy to get the media out, but there are very much or more incidents happening where people are talking about healing and having healing events and peace events, and when the media is called on, we don't see anybody, maybe one or two, and we don't really get any airtime. And so LA starts to look like this place that's just full of crime. And if that's what it's promoted, that's what it's going to be. But I want media to help us recognize the good that is happening in Los Angeles. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of more people out there pushing good than people pushing evil. More people pushing for the guns to be put down instead of the ones that are pushing for the guns to be picked up. And at the end of the day, it's trauma. It is trauma that we are experiencing. Let's say, for instance, those little kids that witnessed their father getting shot. What are they going to do when they grow up? That could have been the story of the shooter. So we never know. It's not about gold. It's not about those things. It's a deeper void that is trying to be filled that we need to get together and heal. So me and my colleagues and everyone here, we're working daily to try to make sure we heal LA. And we want to make sure you capture that as well. To all the clergy and to all the faith-based organizations, let's continue to pray. Let's continue to get out and make sure that this city knows that we are behind them. And most of all, we praise God that we're able to come together today and talk peace. Thank you.
Now, here's my problem that I seem to have with a lot of this. I hear a lot of talking. I hear a lot of pointing fingers. And I see a lot of self-serving. All these people are using this as an opportunity to try to grow their situation. They have all the news out there, and these guys are the community leaders, right, for the neighborhood and from the area. And this is an opportunity for them to showcase themselves, and they seem to be relishing in the moment more than actually giving a damn about PNB Rock. It's about selling themselves and their causes and what they do. And this seems to happen every day after a tragedy. They saying that we want cameras out here and this and that. Where was this march in urgency before all of this happened? If you guys are community leaders, then where's the community behind you? Why is it just you? If y'all are community leaders, you should have the community behind you while you're there. March the community down there and say, hey, why don't we have lights, cameras here? The community, find out the steps you need to take in getting that done. You can get people voted out of office. Say, look, this is the whole community here. We're going to vote you out because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing to keep us safe. Roscoe's opening it back up shouldn't be the main thing in the focus we're talking about. I'm happy they opened back up today. Roscoe's should have had more security, or at least some security there. Where was he at? Blaming the record companies for the bling, that's not what happened. I mean, we're going to blame the music industry for PNB getting shot in the restaurant. Of course, the record companies are going to sell and exploit what people want, but it was a robbery. Because they was posting things on social media. Now, I'm all for people doing good, and people are trying to unite and actually get things done in the community. But if I only see you after a tragedy, I've only seen this stuff being done, you're not really making an impact. No, social media knew where he was and knew that this dude be flicking on with his jewelry, and all these other rappers that be holding the pounds of money up on your face. This is a different world that you're living in. This world is entirely different than what I grew up in and what everybody else grew up in. I grew up in a world where there was no social media. I grew up with Nintendo and Atari and Sega. That was our entertainment. We had cable. I remember a time when the TV used to cut off. And I'm not old. So that tells you how quickly all this technology came within our time. So you have to live by the technology of your time. And the technology of our time says this isn't what we should be doing. Our technology of our time is telling us this isn't the way. Our technology of our time is saying we have to be more careful with how we move. What looked like a good idea, everything starts off as a good idea before they realize people could use it for wrong. And it maybe wasn't such a good idea. We might need to take it down. We had good intentions, like the Facebook tracking, finding everybody so you can find your friends are near you. Oh, hey, my friend's near me. Yeah, that's cool when your friends, people are your friends, but people might be faking and pretending to be your friend just to get close to you. Then it's hard to dictate which friend was the one that saw something that led to somebody coming over and doing something to you. No, but I'm quite sure they know how to move in the city. I mean, she actually put the ping in there that if you click the ping, it takes you straight to the restaurant, the location and everything. She pinged the location where they were and posted the food. Something you never do. And he took it, took his life and family's life for granted by not having security with him. She did not deliberately do that. It wasn't a setup. She just was doing things, overdoing things on social media that she likes to post. And you get those people. They have an addiction to social media. She's done a lot of things like that in the past. And he took her off social media for posting locations on where they were. Especially with his notoriety. You can't be doing that. I never would have imagined everybody would have been as understanding to the plight of the people as much as they were. I was actually very proud of them, to be truthfully honest. That people actually was like, man, that is, she was wrong. for what she did, you know, but she's gonna live with that for the rest of her life. That her addiction with social media is one of the reasons that led to an incident like this. Let me get out the window before they be like, he spies at us through the window. My neighbor spies on me. Let me get out the way. You know how it is. I'm telling you, it's like T.O. If I go to the town community meeting and I show up to these things, it'd be a problem. See, they're mad at me because I don't do that. I ain't got to show up to their meetings. I don't have to do any of these things. No, the world is mine. It's like, this isn't gang activity. I don't know enough about him to know if he had a beef with somebody over there. He's not one of the artists I follow. That's not my era. Reggie was threatening me. Man, my thing is, Reggie's a former cop, right? Your dad's a former cop. Where's Reggie now? You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't out there talking against the violence? You just hustling to get some money. That's all you good for. Only he want to call Keefy D. He got a video where I'm going to call Keefy D. It's the anniversary of Tupac's death. I'm going to call Keefy D. Like, and then you talking about you doing something for Pac? Come on, man. You're a clown. And everybody see that. Nobody was really speaking on that, except for opportunists. You know, that's not a good feeling to do that. And they're like, man, I want to call Keefy up. I'm going to call Keefy D up. Why you got Keefy D phone number? I wouldn't want to talk to that dude. If I love Pac so much, why you got his phone number? See, you make yourself look more like a clown every time you talk. Wedgie. Oh, you see, he shut up once I brought up the fact when he used to get wedgied in school, they used to call him Wedgie Wright. He shut up then. He was like, oh, shoot, I better be quiet. I better be quiet. He right now calling his police friends, trying to find out information on me. I need you to run somebody for me. Can you do that? Can you run somebody for me? I need you to run a plate. All because I said I don't deal with dirty cops. That's why he mad at me. So if I don't deal with dirty cops, why would I want to deal with Wedgie? No. No one cares. Not me. People are nuts. To anybody. That man probably didn't know him at all. Knew where he was. I know dude got jewelry on him. I'ma go. But they never think of the consequences. You done took somebody with a name, bruh. He wasn't just some sideline rapper begging for a contract. This dude was somebody in the game. Now you bring extra police. Now you can't sell the jewelry. You're gonna have to break it down. You're gonna have to know people that can buy broken up pieces of jewelry. You gotta know how to break it down. Some people don't know how to break down jewelry. Anywhere you move it, you're gonna have other people in your business. And then you gotta hope and pray that they don't give you up. And then they're gonna be like, man, this is hot, man, I can't touch it. You know, these prices are too high. Be like, man, you got a body on your hands. It's a body on these now. Can't really touch it. So now that you can't really touch it because there's a body on it, they can lower the price. And then you so desperate, you're going to sell it for what it really ain't worth. And then it's all for nothing. Then the money run out. Then where you at? You right back to square one. And then they're going to put a reward out there. And as much as you think people care for you and down for you, broski, as much as you think everybody is down for you, you going to find out how much those people that claim they with you ain't even with you. It's inevitable. Hit the like button, people. Thanks to everybody that hit the super chat. I appreciate it. God bless every last one of you guys who went out there and definitely hit the super chat button and donated to the page. You have my love and support. You guys are extraordinary, out of this world, and I appreciate all the love and support. People don't look at the end game. They look at right then and there. That wasn't a good move. If you that guy who did that, that wasn't a good move. And if you PNB Rock, then people that witnesses was saying that there was a conversation had. Soon as he asks for that jury, give it up, man. Come up out of it. You could get 1,000 more of those chains. You can get that bracelet. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth your life. You know, Extension, he wouldn't have been killed that day had he didn't just let it happen. Let him take the money. I know the anger and everything, but when dudes got choppers and saws on you know, talking tough ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? If somebody willing to do this in broad daylight, they willing to go all the way. Of course, there's footage of the whole thing because they have security cameras inside of Roscoe's. But you haven't seen the security footage. Only thing you've seen so far is the footage that they have from the somebody who was in Roscoe's at that time, who was filming it. He was a little dude. Like, he was only like probably 160 pounds soaking wet. You know, I don't know how many times he was hit, but he's a very little guy. You know, and to take some shots like that, like, that was up close. I mean, right, when somebody's like girlfriend and kids is there, I'm not trying to talk tough to nobody. I'm not trying to egg nobody on. If my girl and kids are there, that's my first concern. More than myself. Here, take the jury, bro. Be with God. All right, man, we put too much value on these golds and diamonds and all this stuff. Man, let it go. That stuff is insured. Even if it ain't insured, let it go. Eventually in life, you'll get something way more than that. Better than what you had before. I'm like, everything that I had 20 years ago that is lost or was missing and taken or something like that, I've gotten way better than that stuff now, and I wouldn't even care about it now. These are just material things. Yeah, slept a long time today. Got a lot of energy. But I do have a lot to take care of today. But I do appreciate y'all time and hanging out with me like this. God bless all of you. But I gotta go. Peace.